All right, YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Talking Auburn football, go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger War Eagle. We got a few takeaways from the Auburn versus Houston game from the other day. And, I can't say that I didn't enjoy the game. I didn't enjoy the loss, but I mean, it was a good game. I mean, the guys played hard. They did squander some opportunities that we will talk about in this video. Also, go ahead and hit the Cash App, Vernon Speak Sports. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger War Eagle. So the number one takeaway, well, the number 5 takeaway from this game is the fact that Auburn is still struggling mightily in the red zone. I talked about this in my preview and prediction show. I said that Auburn would absolutely have to find a way to be successful in the red zone. But what happens? Auburn goes into the red zone probably about 7 times and comes up with 13 points. That is not going to lead you to a level of elitism in any conference, let alone the SEC, and let alone in a bowl game against a team who has won 11 straight football games, not counting their championship game in the AAC in Houston. The fourth takeaway that I have from this game is the fact that Auburn, they just can't find a way with Tank Bigsby, Jarquez Hunter. They can't find a way to run the football. I mean, you can blame it on a lot of things. Offensive line, probably. I mean, but they just can't. If this offense and many offenses in the SEC or in the Power 5 and college football in general, if you can't run the football to create any kind of imbalance for the opposing team, you're just not going to be successful. And Tank Bigsby had 88 yards. Yes, great. However, not only can't Auburn run the football well, but you would think with a guy like Tank Bigsby in the backfield, you should have a little bit more success even in the red zone. Yeah, and red zone scoring is continuing to plague Auburn in many ways. You talk about opportunities to, stretch the lead, to garner some momentum. And it just didn't happen for the Tigers, and it's very unfortunate. And, it leads to losses, honestly. We've talked about this for the last few years on this channel, that if you can't find a way to score in the red zone consistently, I mean, you're going to lose. Okay, so number 3, I think we're at number 3. Take away from this game, Smoke Monday. Smoke Monday just can't get out of his own way. A very aggressive player, arguably one of the most notable players in recent Auburn history. We've talked about this on this channel, the fact that he is a targeting penalty target. He's been doing it since high school. He's been doing this fundamental version of tackling his whole career at Auburn. He got kicked out of the Georgia game in 2020. Like, there's so many pivotal games that he's got kicked out of with the targeting penalty that is starting to become, hey, this is what you do. And you got to do a little different. You know what I'm saying? When you know that this is a thing for you, you have to do a little bit different. And I really appreciate the tenacity of Smoke Monday, and I think he's going to be very successful at the next level. But this was really disappointing for him to actually go out with the targeting penalty when that's his MO. You know what I'm saying? That's just really crazy for Smoke Monday. Number 2, takeaway. Houston and Auburn, very similar. And it showed up in this game. They're very similar to where they started to collapse in the second half. The only thing that was a little different was the fact that Auburn didn't capitalize on the collapse like they normally don't. If you look at Houston in their games, especially against Power 5 football teams or Group of 5 football teams that are pretty good, they'll get off to some good starts. But the second half, it was 14-13 for Houston against Cincinnati, who will be taking on Alabama pretty soon. And just a collapse. They just could not hang on. They tried to do it against Auburn. But Auburn is also a team that just can't seem to offensively take advantage of opportunities in the second half. So that told on them as well. The number one takeaway from this game has nothing to do with the game. I am glad that Kobe Wooden is coming back. That's leadership. That is experience. And that is something that Auburn can rest their laurels on, considering the fact that they have so many other defensive linemen that will be coming back. You need the leadership from a guy that's, he's played lights out. I had the opportunity to meet Kobe Wooten, and it's kind of funny. He came into my establishment, and I thought he was coming to Auburn as a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't as nearly as stout as he is now, but definitely glad to have him coming back. Want to thank you guys for participating here with Vernon Speak Sports. Auburn, go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.